Hello.
Hi there.
How are you?
Pretty good, and you?
Not too bad.
As I understand it, this week and next week are virtual, right?
That is the way I understand things to shape up. And here comes Jim. Wonder what this new whiteboard thing does.
Don't know. Hey, Jim.
Howdy.
Well, let's try it out. Well, I've got a whiteboard here.
Can you write on it?
Well, let's see.
Oh, yeah. Very good.
That wasn't me. That must be Leroy.
I did that. Let's see. What do I have? Oh, there's an eraser. Okay. And I don't need big circles. I need, oh, a little circle. Oh, look, I'm building a weird face.
Yeah, Jim and I are listed as viewer only, and you're listed as owner. So
Looks just like you.
So we cannot write on the board.
Okay. Well, let's see. I can make, maybe not. Maybe I have to shut the whiteboard down. I don't see a way to make any of you able to write on it.
There's a share to the top right corner of mine. It says a share thing. I click on it and contact
Okay.
email. Yeah. I don't know.
Okay. Both of you guys should be able to edit, maybe.
Oh, yeah, that's me. Not sure who that would be.
Oh, yep. I see somebody drawing something. There's Jim.
I don't know who that is.
That's me.
Where's the eraser? Oh, there they are over there.
Bottom of the list.
It's on the left page.
Yeah.
What's really weird is I have to scroll a lot to see what you guys are doing. That's just weird. I just wanted to see what that was. Okay. Enough of that silliness.
Go do different silliness. Yeah.
I suppose if we ever need to draw pictures or something, do some flow charts or something, that might come in handy.
Yep. I wonder if you can cut an external image and drop it into the whiteboard.
Oh no. Let's see.
Wouldn't surprise me with these guys.
Let's see here. A external picture, huh?
Yeah. The question is, can you drop an image into that whiteboard?
I don't see a way to do it. Well, upload PDFs and images. So maybe there is a way to do it.
Oh, yeah. Go to the second icon from the bottom on the left side and click on that, and that's more tools. And then you've got tables and so forth and so on.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and the where it says more tools, right above
Yeah.
it there's an arrow pointing up with an underline and it says upload PDFs and images. So I can't copy and paste, but I can click on upload PDFs and images and put it in there. I don't know, did you see next to my face there's a
Yeah.
yeah. So that might come in handy for something. And apparently, I don't know where it saves it to, but apparently it saves the whiteboard when we're done with the meeting. So I don't know where it gets saved.
You can explicitly save it. It looked like there's a to the right up arrow. No, to the right something or up. There was a yeah. Huh.
Oh, there's a whole bunch of templates for them too. Basic flow chart. There's actually a template for flow charting.
Huh.
Wow.
You can export it. That triple dot to the upper right allows you to export it or leave feedback.
Oh yeah. Export it as a PDF.
Oh, yeah.
There it is. It just showed up. Cool. That might actually come in handy for something. That might actually be one of the better things that they've added to this mess.
So is this a new feature this week?
I noticed it last week, but we didn't, we were doing other stuff. So I figured this week would be good to play with it.
Now, I haven't upgraded for 3 or 4 weeks at this point. So I don't know if I'm just seeing it on the website, or if I'm actually have that feature built into my installation.
Into the client.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know when it actually showed up. I noticed it last week though. That's when I noticed it. So I'm not real sure when they actually added stuff. I'm running the latest version. I updated this afternoon. So
I haven't updated for maybe 3 or 4 weeks at this point.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with the home computer. It won't save my login credentials. It won't save any of my settings. It won't save my virtual backgrounds. It won't save any of that. But it works. But I just have to go through every time I want to use it and log in and set everything back up the way I want it.
Well, maybe you've got some permissions set wrong.
I don't know. I think probably what happened was when I wiped out and reloaded the desktop, I probably copied the settings file from Zoom over before I actually started Zoom. So there's a conflict somewhere, and it's resolving the conflict by not using the settings file. That would be my guess, but I'm not 100% sure that that's what happened.
Do you know what the location and name of the settings file is?
It is a hidden file inside of your home directory. So if
Okay.
you show hidden files, I think it's just .zoom. Yeah, .zoom. And there's a whole bunch of stuff in there. And I think it's in data where the actual settings file is. I think what I did was when I copied everything over from the old machine, I copied this before I started Zoom. So there's nothing in this file except in the data section.
So the screen capture and so forth is not there.
Now screen capture goes into documents. So the PDF that I just created is in the Zoom documents, Zoom, and then today's date for the meeting. So
Okay.
and Jim put a whole bunch of stuff. So that's going to be the trend for a while. Then two in person and then 2 virtual.
Looks like the first 2 Thursdays so far of each
Yeah.
month.
Yeah.
I thought
See how it goes.
doesn't March has 3 Thursdays.
Well, unfortunately, ours is the first 2, so. They only
Yeah,
have 3.
but you need to add March 30th being a virtual. So there'd be 3
Oh.
virtual meetings.
Oh, okay.
March 30th. You got March 25, so
Yeah,
7 on
that's
Yeah, something's
that's
funky
not
here.
right. March 16th and then March 23rd and then March 30th.
It'd be 17th, 24th, and that's
No, that's
31st. 17th, 24th, and 31st.
16th, 23rd, and 30th.
No, it's
Thursdays.
Thursday, March. The 16th, 23rd, and 30th. Yeah.
And then April looks good. So you need to. So March would need to be March 23rd and March 30th.
Those are all Thursdays.
Is there,
Should be.
we'll just chalk up the 25th as being a finger slip. You fat fingered the 25th. Yeah. April is the 6th, the 13th, the 20th, and the 27th. And
So did you guys get the heavy rain up there today?
about 10 minutes before the meeting started, it was thundering real bad, but I don't think it was raining. We
Well,
did get some rain today, but I don't think it rained hard.
Well, between midnight and noon, Milford got, or at least my house in Milford got about 1.5 inches of rain, and it was coming down pretty good. And we were also getting a fair amount of electrical storm.
Yeah, I heard the thunder about 10 minutes ago or 15 minutes ago, something like that. But
Milford has calmed down.
yeah, right now, I don't think anything's happening. So. Oh. That's what the internet was made for, cats.
Oh, yes.
Hey, Rumpy. That's a good girl.
You got anything new going on, Art?
Not right at the moment. We're in the midst of trying to get our taxes finalized. And got one consulting client who screws me up every year. So I still don't have a 1099 from them. So, but I have a promise it's coming real soon now. So you know how that goes. But everything else, I think we've got all the other.
It'll be here. It'll be here.
Well, the issue I've got is that my accountant says if it gets here by the 1st of March, we do it this year. Otherwise, we got to file an extension, which translates as my fee goes up. So,
Yeah. Luckily, our taxes are pretty straightforward, but I think we're going to end up owing federal this year. I think we're going to end up owing about $26 to them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We're not going to owe a lot, but we made 2 years ago, I found out that there was some weird thing going on with if you're married and filing jointly, you could claim something. And we tried to claim that, and I think it backfired.
well, there was for a while a because if you filed jointly, there was a penalty relative to filing separately
Mhm.
a long time ago. And then they put in something to try and level that out. And it's vacillated both ways. My accountant gets paid to know those things.
Yeah.
Okay. And so ours is no longer very complicated, but because I've got this small business that I run,
It's a little complicated.
well, yeah. And the other thing is, since I'm no longer doing it myself, I no longer have to keep up with all the stuff.
Yeah.
And about, I don't know, about 10 years ago, I decided, look, life is too short. I'm not particularly fond of doing accounting, although I'm qualified. I've got an MBA in finance, so I just don't particularly care to do it.
Yeah.
And if you get to the point where you don't have to do something, then you make a decision. Will I do it? Won't I do it?
Yeah.
And I made the decision. And then 2 years ago, our accountant, we had to change accountants. What happened was that the owner of the accounting firm, or the senior partner of the accounting firm, decided to retire and moved to Idaho. And her daughter, who was the other partner, thought, well, okay, moving to Idaho sounds good to me. So now,
So the entire firm packed up and moved to Idaho.
well, yeah. And in the process, they, since the senior partner was no longer going to be active, they dumped some of their clients. And as near as we can tell, we didn't make the cut. I think they did it kind of on a seniority basis. This was an accounting firm here, a small accounting firm here in Fremont, and they had clients going back probably 30 years. So the senior partner, my guess is, I've never asked her, but my guess is probably in her early to mid 70s. So she was entitled to retire. And her daughter, who's probably 40-ish now, who went to school here in Fremont with my younger daughter, by the way, kind of took over the firm, and they all hauled to Idaho. And, so we were left without an accountant. So
Yeah.
we went to our, what do you call it, kind of attorney that does probate and that sort of thing. We went to our estate attorney and said, well, you gave us one good one before.
You know anybody else?
You know another one. Well, turned out he didn't, but the accounting firm that was dumping us recommended this new one. So last year we got a new one. We thought we got everything squared away last year, but this is a partner of two women, and she decided this year that she was changing software packages, because they have all these secure packages that you can put your secure documents on and so forth and so on. You don't want to email these things around because your social security number is on all of them. So I took the attitude that once I stopped doing it, we hired an accountant, that was going to be the end of my involvement. Well, Barbara's still trying to handle all the interfaces and so forth and so on. And these new software things are, they're not really a stretch, but she's not very comfortable with software anyway. So it's been a stressful period of time. But the primary source of stress is getting all the documents.
Yep.
And I don't believe my financial advisor has, which is UBS. It's the very large international securities firm. I don't think they have ever delivered by the 31st of December or of January, which is when they're supposed to have it in your hands. But their excuse is, you know, all of these various securities and so forth and so on don't get them the documents in time. So it's a him,
Yep.
one of those kind of things. So it's always a challenge. It's always stressful. And Barbara's pretty stressed out about it, but you know,
Yeah.
I don't stress about it anymore. I used to.
Ours was whatever they had done a couple years ago. Patty had been claiming, she had still been claiming the kids for the money to be taken out of the check, you know, her paycheck. And I was like, no, they've changed that. You need to change that so that it reflects what it actually is, because there's some sort of penalty or something if you're claiming too much. And it was supposed to have ended up giving us more money in our paycheck, and I think it did, but this year, for whatever reason, it's came up like $25 or $26 short on the feds. So yeah. So, you know, it's not a big deal. We'll just pay the feds. We won't get a return this year, and we'll just pay them and be done with them. But she's worried that she's going to end up owing city tax. And I'm like, I don't think so, because she pays like a small fortune in city tax. I was like, if anything, they should be giving us money back, but they won't. I mean, you know, cities don't like giving money up.
Well, no taxing authority does.
But she said that she got really worried about it because she said Amanda, our middle kid, works in the same city and ended up owing like $800 to the city. And I said, well, yes, but if you look at her check, they never took anything out of her check. However she set up her W-2s, they
Oh, there
didn't
was
take,
no withholding.
there was nothing. I was like, yeah, of course they're going to want money because, and it
You
was
haven't paid anything.
it was 3 years. It was like $800. So she should have been giving them money, the first year, the second year, and the third year. And I don't even think she filed with the city. So there was penalties and fees on top of it. I'm like, I don't think we're going to end up owing the city. I mean, and if we do, it's going to be a couple of dollars. City tax is pretty cheap.
The only city tax we have here, there's no city personal tax, well, except for property tax and so forth, but no city personal income tax. But there is a business tax. And since I have a business,
Yeah.
I pay that every year. And that's basically, there are no deductions, period.
Yeah.
You just pay a certain percentage of your gross earnings, not your net earnings. So even if you have expenses, doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
They want I don't know what it is, 1.5% of plus-
That's when we had the shop, that was how the city was. They wanted, it wasn't much. It was 70.75% or something. But it was off the gross. It was
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's two ways it works. When I was part of a corporation and also doing consulting, on the consulting, in other words, the fee for service stuff, that was a flat percentage of gross. But if you had a business that did retail sales, then it was a fee per 1,000 of inventory. So if you had a retail sales, so what that means is that at the end of the year, you wanted to run your inventory
down to nothing.
And then after the first of the year, you could let it. But at the end of the year, you always run your. But now, the only business I have now, I don't have any inventory, and it's strictly a service business. Yeah. And so that's just a percentage of gross.
We had some retail sales, but our primary business was service. So we didn't have a whole lot of inventory. But the thing that always got me was if we bought parts, we had to pay some weird fee because we bought parts.
You sure that wasn't a sales tax? If you're buying them for resale, that would normally be a sales tax.
Yeah, there was a sales tax, but that was going to the state, not the city.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
that was the same as in California. Fortunately, I don't do business in Ohio, so
I always hated getting 1099. So contract work. My dad he works contract stuff, and he's got a stack of 1099s. He's
well,
like,
also,
he gives it to his tax guy and just lets him worry about what it is that he owes.
Well, you get 1099s from securities and banks and so forth and so on. So we get quite a stack of 1099s, and of course
I
we
don't-
have very little. We have essentially no earned income. All our income now anymore is securities and this small business I've got. But
I made a whopping 37 cents off of my savings account last year. And if the government wants the 30% of the 37 cents, that's fine. I will give them their 0.03 cents or whatever it is.
okay,
I don't really think the government cares that I made 37 cents.
no, probably not. Well, you're below the minimum income, but I'm also at the point where any of the stuff like IRAs and so forth
Yeah.
and so on, at some point you are forced to start paying a percentage of that.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
Jim mentioned that a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, RMD, required minimum distribution, yeah.
Yeah, yep. It's not a huge percentage of but it
Looks like
forces
it's about 4%, looked like to me.
well, I think that depends on what year of your retirement, for lack of a better term, you're in. That's a sliding scale over time. So at any rate, something about death and taxes comes to mind.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I wonder if everybody got the message, or there's a bunch of people showing up there at midpoint and trying to figure out why is the knitting group in our room?
Well, we did try last week. We told everybody it was going to be virtual. So, and Jim sent a email out early today.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure
Yes.
you weren't up for that, but yeah, it was early. Yeah, even early for me. And like more than 5 minutes before meeting time.
Yeah. Well, it was what, around 11 o'clock this morning, wasn't
I don't know. I wasn't awake.
it? I wasn't really here. I didn't really do it. Yeah. 10:30 a.m. He sent a email.
Yeah, I was watching Sit to Be Fit. Yeah. Somebody mentions that show to you, you know their geriatric class. Sit to Be Fit. Yeah. She's good though.
Sit to be fit.
What I haven't heard of this one. What's this all about?
Sit to Be Fit. It's a lady that does exercises every day. It's yoga like. It's on PBS. It's called Sit to Be Fit. And it's sitting yoga basically. Although she has been standing up a lot lately by the chair. It's like chair yoga. But I like it. I like it. She's really good. She has a method about her movements. She's very cultured about her movements. It's an interesting show. And they have happy yoga before that. Like 9:30 happy yoga, 10 o'clock, it's Sit to Be Fit. You see, that's what's going on over here, Art.
Okay. Well, I'll have to see if that's available out here.
You get to be our age and you don't necessarily need the exercise, but you need the flexing, range of motion. You need to maintain your range of motion for sure.
Yeah, I've been going to, since I got back to California, I've been going to physical therapy because I racked up a shoulder while I was out there. And I think there's a requirement in physical therapy that you have to be marginally masochistic. You know, you have to enjoy other people's pain. So,
Yeah. So yeah,
so
this would be good for you. And as we get age, some of our shoulder joints, I found out, seize up. They fail
yes,
to be flexible anymore. And that's
yes.
why things seem to be going to hell around here. I mean, the situation is evolving here.
Okay.
So it's good to do some yoga. And this is pretty neat. Not a lot. And she's definitely not a lot. And I interpret her stuff too. So I don't do some of the hard stuff. Happy yoga is just great. I mean, yesterday she was sitting in a sunflower field of these Russian mammoth sunflowers. Just beautiful. And other days she's by a waterfall, and then she's sitting by a spring, sitting by Lake Michigan, looks like. And it's nice.
So is this just green screen stuff, or is she actually there?
Oh, she's actually there. She records them, but she's actually there. She's
Huh.
out by a little stream. It's really nice. Happy yoga. It comes on PBS. It's on. I watch it at Life, PBS Life, over here.
I'll have to check that out.
But
Happy
it's
yoga
It's not.
and
Yeah, happy yoga. And neither one of them are stressful at all. It's what I call geriatric yoga. Both of them are typically chair yoga. But it's good. I mean, just watching a little bit and mimicking some of her moves is good for me. I mean, you have to do that. I have to.
My grandmother did that. Yeah. She was
yoga.
Do I?
That was yoga.
It was basically like a sitting exercise deal where you're moving your arms or you're twisting a little bit, but you're sitting. It kept her active, especially, she died, she was 97, I think. And the later part of her life, I mean, she was a really active woman, and then she got to be in her 90s and she couldn't move much anymore. So it was something that one of her doctors said to do, and they found it wasn't yoga like what Jim's talking, but they found like a chair yoga kind of deal, or a chair exercise deal, and we had it on a VHS tape, and she had to watch that every day and move around.
One of our members was a chair yoga instructor. Mike was a chair yoga instructor.
Yep.
And Kenny says over at his exercise place, they have quite a crowd doing chair yoga.
Yeah, they didn't call it that when my grandmother was alive, but that's basically what it was. It's just, she had to do certain amount of stretches, and because she was getting older, somebody usually had to sit down there with her and help her a little bit, but the doctor did not want her just going, her bones completely atrophying from sitting.
Yeah, then your bones tend to get brittle as you tend to lose calcium in your bones, and they get not good.
Yep. So it's been around for a long, long time, but I guess they've improved it. They've added the word yoga.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and there's another one which I won't go into, but it's very interesting to me. They had another lady, she's out of Louisiana, I think. And she has another interesting one. Yeah. That's good. Let me torture you guys. You're getting too much slack here. Huh. There we go. It would be that one.
Here's sit and be fit.
Yeah. Okay, there's the schedule, the new enhanced schedule. And we got a lot of news this week of people in the science business, a lot of new batteries. They're putting solar covers over some of the canals out in Arch territory over there.
What canals are out here?
Let's see. That one.
Yeah, well, where is that? Do you know?
California's Turlock Irrigation District.
Okay, so that's Central Valley.
That they are, and I'm sitting here thinking these knuckleheads, all these solar cells over that water there. Guess what? That may not be that great. Now.
Yeah, that's out in the Central Valley where all the almond and walnut groves are and so forth and so on.
Well, there was a warning about some of the AMD Ryzen had some issues with some of the stuff in Linux. If you're using a certain option, they tend to hang up. They had the problem in Windows 10, 11. You can look at those if you're interested. And also there's a problem with don't update to iOS 16.3.1 if you're using Google Photos. Google Photos will hang. Okay. Guy bought $1,000 electric boat from China, paid $5,000 to get it here. But that wasn't a bad looking fiberglass boat. Well, let's go there. Look, there it is. Goes about 2 miles an hour. Oh, and there, okay.
You could buy cars off of AliExpress.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, and then we got to get Art to look at this.
What's that?
They've got we could get to Mars in just 45 days. It's a nuclear powered engine. Yeah. They're apparently going to use thermal energy to expand hydrogen, liquid hydrogen or liquid helium, maybe liquid hydrogen, and get some speed out of it. You could get to Mars in just 45 days instead of 6 months.
So they're going to use a nuclear pile to heat.
Basically, it looks like they're using a nuclear power. They talk about a wave. That's why we need to get you to read that, because it was beyond my.
Well, I'll take a look at it.
Yeah, it was beyond my knowledge. Oh, and they're talking about a graphene aerogel particles for use particle separation. With a graphene and water combination, they can attract the positively charged atoms away from the water and could separate it that way. You can separate the positively charged particles and the negatively charged particles from the water, and it's supposed to be very efficient purification of water, which would, the guys out on the left coast would want that because they're doing some of that already. And they're talking about sodium ion batteries could replace the lithiums. Ah,
So what's the anode then? Sodium is the
it's going to
cathode?
be a sodium ion. Let's see. Use sodium ions instead of lithium ions to store and deliver power.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
sodium's a metal. So
Yeah, so is lithium, of course.
yeah, so they're replacing lithium with sodium, but sodium is extremely everywhere. And it's a bit volatile, but that's another story. But we've got sodium everywhere. Everywhere you have salt, you got sodium. So we got plenty of that. So we got all kinds of stuff going on.
Oh, Vicente is here.
Well, I got a couple of books. I ran across a couple of books, good books this week. I was pleased with myself. I've got them listed. I got a new Jack Reacher series book out called No Plan B. That was pretty decent. And A Time to Die was interesting. As A Time to Die, Victor to the Assassination. That one was a pretty good read. And Assassin's Code was another pretty good read. They're in the list. If you're looking for something to read, there you go. Bong. And it looks like the flu epidemic is dropping off rapidly in Ohio.
A little late. I've already had the flu a bunch of times.
Yeah, that's why it's dropping off.
That's it.
Well, another one that I've run across, Jim, is Emily St. John Mandel. And she's got a series of books and they're quite good. The one I'm reading right now is called Sea of Tranquility. And I'm reading it out of, I finally set it up so that I can get both ebooks from the Ohio Library and from the Alameda County Library here in Fremont. And so now if one doesn't have it, I go look for the other one. And the only thing it doesn't do is it doesn't keep track of the right bookmark across the two libraries. So the libraries apparently don't share bookmarks.
Huh.
So Vicente, what's up?
I have a problem with my laptop. I just upgrade the Windows system, and now I am using the phone. In just a moment, I'll be in the computer. I think, oh my, this is bad. Doesn't work.
So this is a problem. There you go. There's Sea of Tranquility.
There's the audio book.
I have a,
Yeah.
Now I've got to drop that one.
So this nuclear drive for the trip to Mars,
Yeah.
it looks like it's a hybrid of sorts,
Okay.
and it's thermal power and electric power, and it's producing ions.
Yeah.
That's just wild. So it's an ion drive.
They're talking about waves. Okay.
I think that what they mean is that they're using a pulse drive.
A pulse drive, yeah.
Yeah, a pulse drive.
An ion pulse thingy-mabob. Oh, look, it's Steve, who we haven't seen in
hello.
forever.
How's it going, Steve?
It's going well. How are you all doing?
Fine, fine here.
Pulse drive?
It's a an interesting
It's a nuclear version of the V1 rocket.
well,
Basically.
they're using thermal propulsion and electric propulsion. And the electric part will generate ions. And I'm guessing the thermal part is more like a conventional rocket. I don't know. It just, that sounds wild. It doesn't really sound like how. Okay.
How do you get electricity out of there without using a thermopile?
Well, if it has a nozzle, it's pushing something out. So you put an impeller in there somewhere.
That's what that is. That's what the wave rotator is. It's like an impeller. That's where the wave.
I'm just curious what it is they're heating up. They've got turbo machinery up at the front.
They said something about liquid hydrogen, I think.
Ah,
And then
Yep.
I assume maybe they're heating up the liquid hydrogen and blowing that through a turbine generator or something. And also using it for propulsion. I don't know. That's why we got Art.
Well, the idea of a thermal drive using hydrogen is great. It's kind of like using an atom bomb to drive your rocket. The issue of control, I would think, would be the fundamental one.
they proposed atom bombs too. You just drop one off behind the spaceship, explode it, and you've got a big shock absorber and spring on the back of your living quarters.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you've got the reactor.
I'll let you go
subsystem,
first.
Yeah.
the thrust chamber and the nozzle assembly, but they've got another nozzle down here, a smaller nozzle. It's just a wild idea. NASA's been talking about it, ion drives for a while now, though. So, but the $12,500 grant won't be anywhere near enough to build a prototype. So we need more money. Make this thing
Yeah,
happen.
basically that won't even cover the paperwork for the project.
One of the big deals about 45 days is 6 months in space. They're talking about the amount of radiation that the people would receive from 6 months in space is a big issue. So they in 45 days is supposed to reduce the amount of radiation.
Well, yeah, 45 days is
Instead of 6 months.
That would be
Well,
far easier to do than 6 months. And you wouldn't need, well, you'd still need some radiation shielding, but you probably wouldn't need a lot.
well, the problem is the longer you're out there, the more likelihood is there's going to be a solar storm.
Mm-hmm.
In the normal course of events, absent solar storms is not a big deal. But if you happen to get caught in a solar storm, you really get fried.
That could be bad.
Well, yeah, bad, I think, is probably an
Bad.
understatement. Cooked comes to mind.
That's just it's a pretty radical idea though to use both what looks like something that would be more of a conventional style and something that would be more futuristic style. It's like a hybrid between them. Are you working, Mr. Steve?
No, I was just running an update.
So are you in the office or at home?
Hold on just a second.
We're talking to him. He can't think while we're talking to him.
That's the problem with decent passwords. I'm at home. This is the upstairs office. That's Marla's stuff. That's why it's Windows. I had to go pick up the puppy before joining. She was in daycare.
Doggy daycare?
Yep.
Did she pass her training?
She did. She now can sit if you hand her bacon.
Oh.
And that's about it.
I will sit if you hand me bacon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything's better with bacon.
Everything's better with bacon.
But it was pretty good classes, and she at least is trainable. And now comes the part where Marla and I have to actually train her. So yeah. I think the best thing that came out of there was we got a oh shoot, what do they call it? It was a halter thing. It goes over her nose to try to get her to not pull so much. And she actually walks right beside you when she's got that thing on. She rubs up on your leg though, trying to get it off. But yeah, she's doing okay. But considering she's 10 months old, she's still kind of a puppy and doesn't see the point in doing what I want.
So what, which of the doggy daycares you're taking her to?
Dogtown, Cincinnati. They've got an office in Anderson, and I don't know, they're all over the place. They've got about 6 buildings, and it's no little cages or anything. They've got 15, 20 dogs in a big room, and they're playing with each other, and then they all go outside. Then they turn off the lights, and they're all supposed to take a nap, but I don't think they do. But it's dogtowncincinnati.com, I think. And they've got webcams so you can see what your dog is doing, and it's kind of neat.
Cool. So you drop her off in the morning and pick her up at night?
Yeah. Well, no. Usually I drop her off after lunch, pick her up on the way home. That gives Marla some time off because Marla's working from home right now.
Oh, so this is a half a day.
Yeah.
doggy daycare.
Oh, wait. Now we got Steve here. Maybe he can interpret this. Maybe I can find it. Where did it go? Where?
The
No.
window, the Linux thing,
Yeah,
one tab over. It says after. There's right in the center, it says agenda and then after.
agenda, then after. Okay, where is
Right.
agenda? I don't see agenda.
It's right in the middle of the screen.
Okay, there's the middle of the screen.
Go straight up.
Middle of the top. In
Straight.
your tabs. A little more.
I see, I can't see that because I got the stop share thing going.
Oh,
Okay, I'll just do it again. Go
That-
right in the middle, yeah. Okay,
that makes
here.
sense. He can't see it because he's got the thing there.
I think you can unpin that and make it go away.
Okay, let's see. All I gotta do is kill this guy. Okay, and now I'll try sharing it again. And hopefully the commercial doesn't come back up. Okay. Boink. Boink. And all this so Steve can see this and tell us what this means. After Windows AMD, okay.
I know what it means.
Okay, FTPM. Right.
Oh,
FTPM shutters and freezes now hit Linux.
Yep.
so
there's-
in the 6.2 kernel, they use drivers similar to what Microsoft pushed for Windows into the kernel. And hey, it does the same thing on Linux that it does on Windows. Doesn't work so well.
Imagine that.
It's a module that you can disable. Very few people actually need the TPM chip if they're playing with Linux, unless they're dual booting, which you shouldn't do.
Actually, even with Windows 11, there's a way to turn off the TPM. So, and I had to turn the TPM off to even install Linux on this new machine. So that's how I know that you can do it and still run Windows.
Yeah, you have to do some registry edits, and
You have to do a lot of crap to get it to work. Yes.
and every time there's an update, you have to do that stuff again. Well, not every update, but every big update.
Yeah. Well, I don't think I'm going to suffer that problem with this machine because I had to turn the TPM off. But I don't think mine is a firmware based TPM. I think mine's a real TPM anyway. So
If it shows up in BIOS,
yeah.
it's hardware.
Yeah,
If
that's
it's a thing that you can turn on and off, then it's
Yeah.
hardware.
that's what I thought. And actually the article says something about just turning it off anyway. So
So a thing that you could do is get the signature for the TPM, save it to a file, and then import the Windows partition as a virtual machine and provide it with the TPM.
yeah.
So you turn off the physical TPM, run Linux, and when you need Windows, just run it as a VM.
The only problem with it, I did that with one of my machines. I'm running Windows 10, the real Windows 10 as a VM.
Mhm.
And you have to watch it because if you miss it and you let it boot back into Linux again, it will royally screw things up.
Well, this shouldn't be able to do that.
It shouldn't be able to, but it can, yes.
Okay.
So my machine that's sitting next to me here, I've got Windows 10 on it, and every time I would boot into Windows 10, it would rewrite the boot sectors so that it would boot back into Windows 10.
Mhm.
So the way around that was booting Windows 10 from a VM. But to get it to boot correctly, it still boots into Grub first, and I have to select Windows 10 from the Grub menu.
Okay.
So if I miss the Grub menu and it boots into the same Linux that I'm running, it royally screws up a bunch of crap. And it's a pain in the butt to fix.
You can chain load Grub from Windows 10. So, I mean, there's a way in Windows 10 to get a boot menu as well. So you can have a Grub boot menu and a Windows 10 boot menu. And
Okay,
either
well,
one of them should be able to do
I
whatever you need. But yeah, Super Grub disk can sit there and play for a little bit, and that tends to fix things.
I haven't booted into Windows 10 on that machine in a while. I'm not even sure I still need to do that. At one point, there was a reason why I needed Windows 10, and I don't think I need it anymore.
More and more, I don't.
Yeah.
I set up a machine for a chiropractor at one point. He called it his server. It was a Windows XP box.
Woo!
I forget what happened, but his motherboard went south on him. And I rebuilt his box as a Linux machine with dual power supplies. And I mean, pretty decent automatic backups and everything. And I ran Windows XP as a VM. And every night at like 2 a.m., it would hibernate XP, do a disk image, save it off to an external drive, and then boot back up. It was almost 3 years before somebody called me and said, "What is this? It's not really XP, is it?"
You're not really doing something, are you? Yeah.
But in that time, he called me more than once. It's like, "We borked our database. Can you put it back to yesterday?" Sure, no problem. I could connect in remotely.
I think I finally convinced my dad to use Linux. I'm going to get his old laptop, and he says it's running really slow and it's blah blah blah, and I'm going to stick. He does word processing, and he uses LibreOffice in Windows 10, so it's not like he's doing something different. He uses GIMP on Windows 10. So it's not like he's doing something different, and he uses Chrome to browse the internet. So I said, I'm going to fix your Windows problems. I'm going to put Linux on here, and you're never going to notice the difference. Those are the three things he does, and I can put GIMP and LibreOffice, and I'll probably put Brave on there for him instead of Chrome, but I could do all that and he'll never know the difference.
What's he do for email?
He uses
Gmail, or
he does use the Windows
mail client?
Mail client. It's not Outlook anymore. It's something
Yeah,
else.
it's just mail.
Just mail.
Yeah.
That would probably be the only thing that we would have to get him used to, is using Thunderbird or something.
Thunderbird is nice.
Thunderbird's probably more advanced than
Oh, much so.
mail than he's using. So
Yeah. When they had Outlook Express.
Yeah.
That wasn't too bad. You could do, they called them rules, whatever. You could create filters and folders and all of that. You can't do that in mail.
yeah, see,
Or I think you can create folders, but you can't create filters or rules.
I think he was using Outlook Express back in the day, and then we got him this machine and it didn't have anything. And mail was the closest thing that I could find that to use. So that's what we ended up with, but should be easy enough to get him to switch. I mean, he's not married to mail. He just uses it. And
Yeah.
I think he probably could. I don't know. Does Spectrum still have a webmail client?
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know either.
I haven't had Spectrum in a long time, and I haven't used anybody else's mail client for eons.
Yeah.
I don't even use Gmail anymore. I've got software on my server that connects to my Gmail account, pulls it down every, I don't know, 10 minutes or something, and just pushes it into folders in my email.
Yeah. But yeah, I think I finally convinced him though that I've been trying for 2 years to get him to, longer than that, really. I've been trying him since he bought that laptop. You need to let me stick Linux on that machine. You'll like it a lot better. All right.
Okay.
I'm
That's,
rotating my torso.
That's happy yoga there. That's a happy yoga girl.
Okay.
It's for geezers, Steve. You get there someday. Maybe.
I feel I'm getting pretty close. Creeping up on my 58th birthday here. Like,
Wow.
It doesn't really work when the chair moves with you, right?
no, it just becomes leg exercise then instead of back.
Okay. That was interesting. Now there's 2 mics. That was interesting. Now
Oh,
there's,
it's young. Yeah, I might.
Hi, Mike.
Greetings.
interesting.
So you got a green screen there, Mike?
You're muted. Mike is muted.
Mike has no mic.
Mike is having problems. There's 2 of him. We've cloned him. Vicente has a batarang.
Trouble with the Chrome. The Chrome browser is not working.
The Chrome browser is not working after your update. Is that a batarang up there on your
Actually-
wall? A batarang up on your wall. There's a bat.
Behind you there, Vicente, on
There's
the
a
wall
bat.
to the window,
Up.
next to
doesn't-
the window, next to the window.
He can see it.
Yeah, it is.
Vicente is Batman. I've known it forever.
This is a discussion still. I have, I don't know, something is wrong with my laptop.
There's a fix for that.
Not working.
Yeah.
Linux.
And you're good.
Doesn't matter which page you try to access. Doesn't
you
work.
Have you
Twitter,
rebooted? Have you restarted?
Facebook, no, YouTube. You can open this page.
Maybe
A
you
hard
just-
reboot doesn't do it, doesn't fix it.
I did everything. I reboot. I reload the Chrome application. Nothing.
You're gonna have to do a system restore. Go back before the update.
Chrome say can open this page for any page. But I can show with my phone this thing. You see something there?
Oh, yeah.
I can see. Okay. I am testing a magnetic encoder. It's an absolute encoder. You can change the position of the wheel. I don't know if it's on focus, the display.
Yes, 762.
Okay, so it each full turn produce 4,095 counts. Okay, so you have 12 bits to represent the position of the wheel. Okay, and you can estimate the position of the wheel just counting values. Come here, sweetie. But the software is accumulating turns and produce this value. But the absolute position is when you reset the board here somewhere. Come here. This is the absolute position of the wheel.
That is interesting.
When you pass 4,095, it continue showing the value, but actually the real position is when you do the reset is 94. You see?
Wow. So in software, you could have it reset.
Yeah, I in software increasing the value when you pass by the from 4,095 to 0. I increase the number of turns or decrease it. So you can have a value or the position of the wheel continues accumulating the turns.
So you could bring that.
So if you do reset, you recover the absolute value, the position, the absolute position. I can go backward, negative values. And also when you stop and you make a reset, you will see the absolute position of the wheel. See?
Wow.
So is the encoder on the back there giving you the
It's
position?
a magnetic encoder. I don't know if you can see the sensor here. I can see where the camera is pointing.
Yeah, I saw
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Okay, here. You see, there is a magnet rotating close to IC that detects the direction of the magnetic field with very high precision. So you can see where the magnet is pointing, producing a 12 bits value. And it's very precise and very stable. So I like it. And it's very cheap also. This board costs $1. So
Where
We
where'd
use
you
that.
where'd you find that at for $1?
what?
Where'd you find the board at for $1? Because I see
In
them for like
Amazon, you can buy
$3. Do what?
6 by $12, I think. But in
Oh, okay.
AliExpress, you have a lower price.
Yeah.
So, and it comes with a magnet.
That technology, we used that on paper machines back in my day with the computers, and we'd be calculating the draw between two rollers on the paper machine. There, you're comparing the speed of two rollers and calculating the draw, how much faster the second one is going than the first one. And you can get very precise measurements with that. That's very nice technology.
That's the chip right there.
Yeah.
But I didn't look on AliExpress. I just looked on eBay.
What Modicon had was a board that you plugged into the IO bus, and it had a counter on it. Okay, and it counted the pulses coming off of the roller, off the encoder, and kept a total. And you could just go in and look at the total and tell very precisely what the speed was and what the draw was, et cetera, from the rollers. Very good technology.
How close does that sensor have to be to the magnet?
It is between 0.5 millimeters and 2.5. It's a range.
Okay.
There is something else I want to show. Let me see. Can you see this?
It's a hand.
You see it?
Yep.
Okay, I made this 3D model of a hand because I want to make a globe to control a hand in the computer. Okay, so I designed this hand and I send serially the parameters of the angles of each finger, each section of the fingers. Okay, now I am using an Arduino Nano here, sending values of the position of each part of the hand. And in the computer, you see the simulation of the hand. Also, the palm, this block will be moved using a sensor in the back of your hand with accelerometers. So you can move your hand, and this block will move in the same direction that your hand. Okay, to make a full 3D hand movements in the screen. Another project I am working on. Now the Arduino Nano is sending serially all the joints angles. And we'll send also the position of the hand using accelerometer information. So this is another project I am working on. And here we have the Leroy robots. Still, I did nothing with them.
Dun, dun, dun.
Annoying.
Yeah, I still think I made software for that, but I can't
Yeah.
find it.
This is your sketch.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I made software for it. I just can't find it.
Yeah. So, and then you show the battery here,
Yep.
the battery level. So those are some things I am doing. Like, and now I have the problem with my laptop.
Well, you know what the problem really is with your laptop. It's
It's Chrome.
it's running.
It's the browser, because I am using the Microsoft browser and it works okay, but I don't have the link to Zoom in the Microsoft browser, so I didn't open the meeting on it. But Chrome is not working.
No, the problem is it's Windows.
Windows, maybe. Yes, actually, I updated Windows 10 to Windows 11 last week. So maybe something related with the new upgrade or whatever. I don't know.
Had it been working earlier while it was still on
My son was working in this machine using Linux. I don't know what he did, but in 5 minutes he was working on Linux in the same machine. There is an icon, a new icon in my. Can you see the? Where is the? Okay, there is a new icon here. You see?
Yeah, Ubuntu.
Ubuntu or something. So
Maybe the firewall is blocking Chrome.
there is Ubuntu, yeah, I think. Maybe the firewall. I need to check, but not now. Now we have a meeting. So that's it. Well, my idea is to use this sensor to use it in a robot, in a cheap robot, to make precise movements, rotate and displacement and.
I gotta order me some of those sensors. That sensor would solve so many problems.
Oh, you're still going to have the slide, and you're still going to have the inaccuracies of the wheel diameter, because that's out of round. So it'll be much better. Yeah,
I like these wheels that Leroy gave me last week.
Yeah,
they look more precise. I don't know.
Right. Yeah.
Those motors, you can look in Amazon, TT motors.
Mm-hmm.
You can buy 6 by 13 bucks or something with the wheel. So they are really cheap. I mean, you can buy the wheel and the motor for $3 plus the sensor, another $1. So you can have like a robot for $15 or something. Well, you need to add everything, right? The microcontroller, the battery pack. We have someone that is looking for peanuts.
It says, there's a meeting. Where's my peanuts?
Stop meeting a meeting.
You could get a set of those.
Look, you see the value of the position.
Yep.
Is absolute. If I unplug the battery. Just a second. Okay. I unplug the USB from the battery. Okay, and I connect it again. And the value will be the same. That's why they say it is absolute. Okay. So you can have like a quarter of degree of precision. That is a lot for a robot, a simple robot.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Or a tenth of a radian.
I made this setup to have a static workbench to adjust everything, but it works from the beginning. It's very easy to set up, and you have libraries to control everything. You know, it's an I2C device. The problem is that the address is fixed. So if you want to control two wheels, you need two I2C buses because they have the same address.
You
Okay.
could use a multiplexer.
Excuse me?
A multiplexer.
Yeah, well, but they have the same chip, but it's a lot more expensive. Has a programmable address. Okay, it's the same chip with an L at the end, and it's an EEPROM inside. You can change the I2C address,
Wow.
but it costs like $5 instead of $1. So maybe you can use the ESP32 with two I2C buses and control each sensor with a different I2C channels. So no problem at all. And you use the Raspberry Pi Pico,
Mhm.
you have a lot of I2C channels. I don't know if maybe 6. I don't know how many channels, but almost all the pins can be configured as I2C ports. So, the problem is you use Arduino with a single I2C, but you can use a multiplexer, but you always try to use the minimum amount of hardware to do stuff.
Yeah. I've used that multiplexer. I put a thing in
I
the
saw the multiplexer in Adafruit, but I
that
don't
one.
know. I rather buy the expensive sensor, one low cost and one more expensive, and you
Yeah.
change one of them the address instead of another board. And
If you're
maybe you need to tweak the library to use it. You know, the library of the sensor do not include the driving of a multiplexer. So I don't know.
yeah, that multiplexer that one's
You need
fairly
to
easy
send,
to use.
you need to
to-
send commands, or just you drive pins to change the connection.
That one I'm pretty sure you send it a command to change first.
Yeah.
But I've
Because
got a couple of them that are like a 4-bit deal, and you just toggle bits on and off to do it. But that multiplexer is pretty easy to use. You don't really need to do a whole lot to it. I think what I did was I made a function up to tell it which left or right that I wanted, and then go read the sensor and just keep toggling back and forth. Oh,
No peanuts?
Yes.
so you got anything new, Mike? I can't hear Mike.
Can't hear Mike.
Can't hear Mike.
It doesn't look like he's muted.
No. And it looks like he's doing stuff over there trying to
Where's
Steve?
his?
Hi,
Mike's having problems.
Steve,
where's his-
when is the meeting in Madeira?
Oh, the Miramont, not this coming Saturday, but Saturday after.
Okay,
Let me verify that for sure, because, you know, that's math and numbers. This is the 16th, yeah. Yeah, it's the 25th,
okay. Time, 10?
10:30 until noon.
I will try to be there just to start using this annoying operating system, Linux.
It's good stuff. I strongly recommend it.
Okay.
So, Mike, do you have a microphone?
It doesn't seem to be
Not picking anything up.
poor Mike. We can't hear him.
Language, sign language.
Doesn't do me much good. I don't I think
Yeah,
I know. I think I know one thing in sign language, and that's not it.
He said something about I have a long left toe.
Live long and prosper.
It gives you chat, maybe.
I can't really.
Can see.
You got the
Something
chat.
about the use of mic.
I think its browser is blocking the microphone.
So
You could install the Zoom client. That gives you more options.
you click
can-
on, are you,
I think if you click on the little lock, if you're in Chrome,
you click
you
on the
can go
lock.
to site settings. And then if you find the right thing, it'll ask you if you want to allow.
Yeah. Vicente doesn't want us to see.
Vicente, something you may want to try doing from a command prompt, do a shutdown -R. That actually guarantees that you're shutting down and restarting instead of
From the
sometimes.
command line.
Yeah, because when you do it from the start menu, sometimes it doesn't actually restart.
Okay. Okay.
Windows tries to hold a whole bunch of information. in
I
memory.
try that. Okay. To really restart everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay. What's the command?
Shut down, the word
Shut down.
shut down, space -R.
In any directory?
Yes, just at a command prompt or PowerShell.
Oh, I have a lot of parameters.
Yeah, you can tell it to shut down for a reboot in 3 hours and 4
Parameter?
minutes.
Ah,
You can tell it to shut down and reboot in 3 hours.
Shut down space -R.
H?
R.
H is a halt, R is a
Together or
reboot.
H separated, okay?
Yes.
No, R is full shutdown and restart. Okay.
Yep.
Here we go.
All right, I think I might be working.
Hey.
Sounds like it. Whoa. So what'd you do?
Oh,
He-
well, I had to disconnect the computer audio settings and then just tell it to reconnect. And then that solved it. I'm on a Chromebook,
Ah,
so that kind of limits you sometimes.
See,
you are about to sign out.
Yep, that's a good thing.
oh my God.
So Mike, is there anything new?
Oh, still been working on lawnmower projects. Been trying to get away from the perimeter wire going around the yard. So I saw one guy that has Vincente's thing reminded me of that, where the guy uses encoders on the wheels and he just drives it around the yard and it remembers the distances based off the encoders. But if you get a little wheel slip,
That's right.
And you
that's going
will.
to change everything.
Yeah.
So then I was looking at RKT GPS, which looks pretty complicated to get that to work. But
Yeah.
there's people out there doing it, so it's always more to learn.
So GPS is precise enough to pick out boundaries and so forth?
Well, they have what they call an RTK, which accesses the GPS and then looks at a reference one that you have a reference base station. So you have to set up a reference receiver and then it recalibrates and homes it in. It says you can get within a couple of centimeters accuracy, unless your area provides one. So I went online and looked at RKT base stations, and there's none in the Cincinnati area. There's some in Columbus and a whole lot of them in Illinois. I think maybe the farmers are using those for steering their tractors around. But there's nothing in Cincinnati, so I would have to build my own base as and the guys will hang a little pendulum down, like what do you call it, a plumb bob, and put it right in the exact same position every time. So then that calibrates. So it gets, besides the 3 satellite positions, it also looks at your base to refine the positioning, which is looks like a lot.
I'll be doing something like that with my sound beacons in my yard.
Yeah.
They will work maybe 150 yards distance. and you have like 1 to 2 centimeters precision in this area, you know.
There's also a differential GPS
Mhm.
where you could put 2 GPSs on, and then you do a whole bunch of math. But I think it also is better, or the accuracy is better with differential, but it's better with the RTK plus differential. And it's a whole bunch of math. There's a whole bunch of math to it.
Yeah, you have a
So-
lot of trees, so the GPS is also a problem, you know.
That
Well-
GPS signal should be available. The county surveyors use it because they use GPS to get initial coordinates for just about everything. And that gets them down to 2 centimeters. And they've been doing that for 20 years more.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was looking into that also, and they're using a base.
Right.
Yeah,
But
they
that-
calibrate the base, and then they can go around with their mobile probe. Yeah, and do that, but you still have to have that base, where some areas will provide you with a base signal
you
to
can
reference.
you can use known locations like known latitude and longitude for like TV towers. And then you can have a receiver that will get, I think it's like the RSSI, which is the relative signal strength from those towers, and you could triangulate off of multiple towers. But again, it's a whole bunch of math.
Yeah.
But you can, like, you know, we're surrounded, Cincinnati and Dayton is surrounded by television antennas and radio stations, and all of those have latitude and longitude, so we know where all those are. So you just need, to do triangulation across them, and or trilateration. It gets messy, but you still have the GPS to verify that it's somewhere close to where you think it
Are
is.
in range.
Yeah.
So these benchmarks you see in the street, which surveyors use to survey land, survey your lot, whatever. If you want to get your lots surveyed, you can hire a surveyor, but they all reference off these benchmarks in the street. And those are little metal plates about this big around, I guess. And they have a specific latitude and longitude. And then you put one of your transits there and go to wherever the lot is that you want to, but those aren't electronic. Those are strictly mechanical and optical.
Yeah. See, now they're doing them electronic, where once you know right where that point is, the remote electronics can coordinate your exact distance and location, and you can actually plot different points just by moving your mobile one around.
And relatively
just-
frequently, they'll put down a transponder at one of those benchmarks and use that
Yeah.
to give them
They've
locations. It's not much optical anymore.
Yeah,
they've been doing that stuff for decades now, though. I mean, that's not really a new thing. It's kind of hobbyist it's kind of new for hobbyist, but I had a Trimble GPS that I bought it 20 years ago, and it had RTK in it. And you at the time you had to pay big money to get access to the RTK signal that it used. And it was expensive. But that I acquired that Trimble GPS from an auction, I know, a good 20 years ago. And when I acquired it, it probably was already 10 years old. So that had been around for a long time. And it was supposed to be the most accurate GPS on the market at the time. So
Yeah, as a fantasy, I thought, okay, if I can crack that nut, I don't have to run wires. I could just take my little robo mower and charge somebody to mow their lawn and not have to run wires. Just set it up and let it go.
yeah.
Many years ago, there was a project in Popular Electronics, the Lawn Ranger, and it had 8 probes that stuck out in front of it. And you'd guide it around the perimeter of the lawn, and then it kept the probes. So 7 of them were in the grass, in the taller grass. They were above where the cut grass would be. So it actually it sensed what needed to be cut because there was still grass there. Had little IR photo sensors on there. It was a neat idea. It didn't work so well.
I remember seeing that same article back, a decade maybe, or even 20 years ago.
1975.
Well, Popular Electronics is not still around, is it?
No, it got bought by Nuts and Bolts, and that is around.
Yeah. But Popular Electronics, I think, went out of business or disappeared from the horizon, like in the 60s, I believe.
Oh no, they were still in production up until at least the late 80s.
Really?
Yeah, I remember Popular Electronics as a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I remember it as a kid also, but there's a few decades between the two of us being kids.
1982. 1982 is when it died.
Oh, is that what it said?
1954 through 1982.
Yeah, I remember in the 50s and the 60s, I had a subscription to it.
Oh yeah, that was good stuff.
Oh yeah. So what you got, Vicente?
The camera, my phone is mounted in a tripod with a motor. See?
Oh, cool.
I show you, yeah. You see?
Oh, cool.
So that's like pan and tilt camera thingy,
Yeah.
Bob.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it both pan and tilt?
Yeah. Let me check. You see here?
Yep.
So where's the camera?
In my hand.
Oh, okay.
In my phone. My phone.
Why can't we see the camera?
Let me level this.
I picked up some new toys. One of the things that Marla and I went to do was build a teardrop trailer, and I needed power for it. So I ordered a couple of 100-watt solar panels and a charge controller and battery. the lithium iron phosphate 20 amp hour battery. I should have gone bigger. I let the thing charge up overnight, or well, let it charge up all day long one day, put a 8-watt load on it overnight. It ran all night long, no problems. The sun came up about, I don't know, 9:15 or so is when it actually started charging, and was fully charged by like 10:30. I definitely can put bigger batteries on this thing.
So you're gonna build a trailer yourself?
Yep. Starting with a Harbor Freight 4-foot by 8-foot, 1,700 pound trailer. It's better than camping and cheaper than a hotel.
Well, okay.
So is this an unfinished shell?
Oh, no, we're
Just a flatbed, right?
starting with a flatbed trailer and plywood. We're not,
Oh,
so we live right behind, oh shoot. I can't remember the name of the place. Right across the street is an RV place.
7 p.m.
Huh? No, it
Time.
starts with an H. It's out here in Batavia. Holman Motors. They got a pile of RVs, and they've got some little teardrops. Their cheapest teardrop is 12 grand. I think that's crazy. I figure I can build something much better for about 4.5.
What are you gonna
At
pull
12
it with?
grand. Right now, the Mazda, and we're probably going to pick up something the size of a little Ford Ranger. Something small. I don't want a big truck. I don't want to be grouped in with that group of people. But a little truck. I had a Ranger years ago, and it was just a great little toy truck. It was easy to maintain. If I could find an old one, like a mid-80s, that'd be perfect. I don't think I'm going to find one that isn't a pile of rust.
I had a GMC S15, which was a little tiny bit bigger than
Yeah.
the S10, but that was a great truck. And I am not a fan of GMC stuff, but that truck was a great truck.
Standard or automatic?
That one was a standard, but I drove the
Nice.
automatic. And
It
it was
that's
a
what
great
I'm hoping for.
it was a great truck until one day I was cruising down the road and I popped it into a gear and I heard this weird whine and a spring flew out of the transmission. And at
Generally,
that point,
parts coming out of the transmission is bad.
yeah, I found all the parts and I had it hauled to a place and they told me what it was cost to fix. And I said, I didn't pay anywhere near that much for this truck. Junk it.
Yeah.
So I ended up getting, I think $400 for the truck or something as junk scrap pile, which was all right with me because I mean, it had paid for itself several times over, but
Oh, yeah.
it was going to cost $2,200. And I think I only paid $15 for the truck in the first place.
Honestly, you could have gotten a replacement engine and transmission for probably $500 and done it yourself in a relatively short period of time.
Yeah. But nice spring. It oh, that's neat. Spring. But Well, it's after 7, guys.
Yeah. Oh,
Dang.
Yeah, I know.
I put in for overtime.
I think Patty's in there cooking food, so I'm going to have to go. I'm going to have to
Yeah.
go eat.
Oh, yeah.
What's
So-
more important, us or food?
Food.
Don't answer that.
Yeah.
I didn't take long.
Silly question. I mean, we are virtual again next week.
Yep.
And hopefully I'll see everybody next week.
All right.
Very good. Well, you
Sounds
have
good.
a good,
All right.
have a good week.
Good
All right.
night, gentlemen.
Coyote here. Oh, man.
Bye-bye.